is Life Issues with Paul Hamache. Life is thinking.
This is Life Issues with Paul Hamache. Life is thinking.
I'm glad to come your way once again. We've been looking at a very important series on the types of self-perception. We've looked at part 1, part 2, and today we're looking at part 3. Forgive the misnumbering in our last video. It ought to be part 2. So today is part 3. Stay tuned.
Life Issues with Paul Hamache. We talk about life, we discuss about life, and we think about life issues.
This is Life Issues with Paul Hamache. Life is thinking, and thinking is life.
Types of self-perception. Thinking highly of oneself, normal and healthy thinking. By grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. Romans chapter 12 verse 3, NLT. The normal way of thinking is thinking highly of yourself. Yes, you heard me correctly. It bears repeating. The normal way of thinking is thinking highly of yourself. Let us deconstruct this passage. Do not think of yourself more highly than you ought. Please note, the passage only prohibits thinking of yourself more highly than you ought. By deductive reasoning, it follows that you are expected to think highly of yourself. The rest of the passage buttresses this point. But rather think of yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. The scripture is saying that if you think highly of yourself, same should be done with sober judgment and in accordance with the faith God has given you. God, therefore, wants you to think highly of yourself in accordance with the giftings, talents, calling, and assignments He has given you. Paul the Apostle thought of himself highly when he declares the following. Wow. But by the grace of God, I am what I am. 1 Corinthians 15:10. I magnify my office. Romans 11:13. I am not in the least inferior to the super apostles. 1 Corinthians 11. This means that by creation and redemption we are meant to represent and deputize God in this realm. And we cannot achieve God's intention if we have unhealthy perception of ourselves. Therefore, thinking highly of yourself is not prideful or arrogant, but thinking in proportion to the faith given to you. Thinking highly of yourself does not mean you're arrogant. This is because you are created in the image of God. It is a habit that you must develop in order to reach the zenith of your destiny. Sometimes you tend to shrink from the great idea God is depositing in your mind simply because you do not think highly of yourself. You think less of yourself. Having this in your mind, you should know there are other ways that people indulge in their thinking that God does not. Watch out for part 4. We're going to look at that in detail. In the meantime, please don't forget to like, comment, and follow this channel. Thank you. See you next time.